Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my December wrap up part 1. Now, already I'm filming up here because there was a case of COVID at my son's school and he's isolating. So I'm homeschooling already. All the fun of the fair. So for the next few videos are going to be kid probably dive bombing in. But hey, that's being a mum. And I've got 2 happy children and they're safe with their mummy, so I am happy. As long as they're safe with their mummy, I am very, very happy. Anyway, let's stop rambling. Let's get on with the books. I've already read 13 books this month, which considering it's the 15th when I'm recording this, it's not too bad. I finished 1 last night, which was good. I've got 2 books that I'm buddy reading and I've got 2 books that I will be starting today. So when you're watching this, might have already read one of them, but you never know. They're longer books, so who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Shall I show you what I'm reading? So I've just read, I'm halfway through today's pages for My Not So Perfect Life, which I'm buddy reading with the lovely Gaia, Berna and Sarah. And I'm loving it. It turns out, by the way, I've actually read this before. And by the time you see this, I probably would have finished it because I'm due to finish it on Thursday. But I'm loving it. At the moment, it's a 4-star book, but you'll obviously see before I know what I've actually finally given this. But this is a lovely chicklet. It's just what I need at the moment, and it does promote the image that how much of us say that we're having a perfect life when we're not. And something you guys know that I'm very keen on being true to ourselves. So this is why I love this book. It's also a good chicklet. It's got some really funny bits in it which I love. I'm reading this book with the lovely Olivia from Ophelias Catastrophe. It's a bit of a slow start, David Nichols. I know that it's Gemma from Reader Book Gems, one of her favourite books. And although it's a slow start, I'm really getting into it. So I can't wait to read today's pages of this. I'm due to finish it next week, next sort of Monday or Tuesday, I think. Because, you know, I wanted to get all my buddy reads done by Christmas Day. So Christmas Day onwards, I can focus on the children. So, yeah, this is all right. At night time, I'm reading this short story collection, which I'm now halfway through, Last Christmas, which is a series of short stories. Some of them are really hard-hitting. Some of them are fantastically funny and good. It's a good book. I think at the moment it's kind of rating at 3 stars, but I'll have to wait and see. And I'm also listening to an audiobook, Come Again by Robert Webb. It's very slow. It's a bit about a girl that's getting a chance to try again on her life. Will she tell her husband that he has a brain tumour so that he doesn't die? I don't know. I'm a bit slow on it because obviously with Vlogmas I'm watching all of your videos, even though I'm running out of internet, so I don't know. I'm doing my best, guys. If I don't watch every video, I'm sorry, but I'm overwhelmed with Vlogmas and teaching and being a mum, and I've still got to wrap presents. I've got a lot on my plate. So with your Vlogmas videos, guys, I am doing my best. Please bear with me. But anyway, that's what I'm reading currently, what I'm doing, and let me tell you about the books that I've already read so far. So the first one was a book that I wanted to get off my shelves. It's Elizabeth Gilbert, The Signature of All Things. This is the 3rd book by this author, and I only rated it 2 stars. It was very slow paced. It's historical fiction. It's not overwhelming me. It's so long and so dwelling, and it was just depressing and boring. I just didn't like it. So I'm now not going to read any more of Elizabeth Gilbert's books. That's me. That's going in my charity shop goodbye pile. Or did I say I'll give it to Gemma? Gemma, remind me, please. Then I was reading a Tudor book because the lovely Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery said to me to read a Tudor book. This is a comfort, 3 stars, nice, easy read. It's about Lady Elizabeth, about Princess Elizabeth. So it's the one that became Elizabeth I. And this is her story over her journey. It's a plodding along book. It's fiction. It's got about the fiction bit because they're saying that she had a miscarriage. We don't actually know if she did really. There's rumours about that. And that's her story. I learnt a lot more about her. I actually felt sorry for her a lot more in this book. On the Tudor tag video I did, I said that I like Mary the best. But there's bits in this about Mary that I didn't like. And there were bits in this that I felt really sorry for Elizabeth. So this is quite interesting. Did enjoy it, but it's nice, average 3 stars. That's going to be a charity shop now. This is my friend's choice from Gemma, and obviously I always say read book Gems. Gemma's the best ever, one of the loveliest people. And this is basically you think you know Charlotte, Emily and Anne, the Brontes. Samantha Whipple is the last remaining descendant of the illustrious Bronte family, the Wuthering Heights of Jane Eyre fame. After losing her father, a brilliant author in her own right, it's up to Samantha to piece together the mysterious family inheritance. I don't think this portrays the Brontes in as good a light as I wanted it to. There's Thomas in the background. But it's all right. It was more of a mystery book. It didn't portray the Brontes so right. She was slating some of my favourite Bronte books, which I found challenging. It was all right. It's good. I'm glad I read it, but it was not as good as I wanted it to be. Sorry, Gemma. But I think she wants to try it. Gemma wants to try it, so that's definitely going on my Gemma file. And that's the only 2 and 3 star books. Apart from that, this month so far has been absolutely incredible. I've got 3 4 stars, and then the rest of them are 5-star books. I am having the best reading month of the year so far. I'm ending on such a high. Let's hope this continues for the rest of the month. But so this finally finished the Lunar Chronicles. This is the short story collection. The reason why it's 4 stars is that some of the stories are like 5 stars and are absolutely amazing, especially the last one. The last one made me cry my eyes out. And some of them are just blur. There was one on Eco that I just didn't like. It was very blur. That's why I only rated it 4 stars. Like I said, if you look at this, like some of the stories, it's short stories, so you're always going to get something ish-fishy with it. So the last one's called Something Old, Something New. Loved it. 5 stars. They're all varying length. The Mechanic, that was a bit blur. And then we've got another one that's blur. Then you got there was one about Scarlet and Wolf in it. Oh my god, I love that. The Little Android, that was very blur. Excuse me. And then you got ones that were absolutely incredible. Oh yeah, The Princess and the Guard. Oh my god, I love that. That was like 5 stars. So some of them are like 5, some of them are like 2. That's why I averaged it, and I sort of give the book 4 stars. But I did enjoy it. Charlie's having that one back. The one I finished last night was The Winter Children by Lulu Taylor. That was my TBR jar, and I finally got around to it. This is really good. It's a historical... I thought it was historical fiction, but it isn't. It's actually like a mystery thriller. It's really good. It's got 2 timelines. So it's set in like 1959, and then we've got the present day, and then we've got this. It's about like egg donation and the fact that the father of the children that were born because of that, they hid who the egg donator was. Really, really good book. I definitely want to pick up more of Lulu Taylor's books. And I believe Julie from the Hungry Bookworm gave me this book, so I finally got around to it. Loved it. Because it's a mystery and thriller, I won't be keeping it, but it was really, really good. Then this one, I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep it or not, because Chris bought it for me full price, but it is 4 stars. I think it's one of my only 5-star predictions that didn't get 5 stars. Because it was quite normal. It was nothing explosive. For a 5-star, for a chick lit would take a lot anyway. But this was like the 2 lives. So we've got one life when she's asleep and she's with her husband, and in the present life, at the start of this book, Lydia Bird loses her husband. He has a car accident and he dies. And she has 2 lives. One where he's awake, so this is her real life, where he's not here and she's having to rebuild her life and she's having a hard time. And in the other story, he's alive, but her life still isn't taking the route that she sort of expects. And when she's asleep, she knows that this husband's dead, but so she enjoys him when he's alive in her dreams. And it's quite sweet, it's quite monotonous, but quite a chick-litty book. The ending was amazing, but it's very the same, like predictable kind of comfort. But it was still good. I just don't know whether I'm going to keep it or not, so it's one way. I think I'll keep it because Chris bought it for me, but it was not as good as I wanted it to be. Then I'm on to my 5 stars, and oh my goodness, when I say they're 5 stars, all the rest of the books are incredible. It was hard to pick my 2 favourite. Thomas! First one is The Castle of Tangle Magic by Sophie Anderson. You guys know I loved her other books. I loved The House of Chicken Legs so much. And this is one that's absolutely, it's magical, it's fairy tale, it's fantasy, it's everything you could ever dream about in a middle grade fantasy book. It was incredible. The pictures in it are gorgeous. You've got lessons, look at these pictures, guys. Oh, and there's a quote in here. That's why I've saved the page on here. There's a quote in here that I wanted to say. I don't normally keep quotes, but this is a quote that I think is really good. Fear helps keep us safe. It doesn't mean you won't succeed. So we all get scared at times, and we all sometimes think it's bad, but sometimes fear can be good. I love that quote, and I love this book. It's one of the best books ever, and it's going back on my shelf. The next one is a book that I got sent for the readathon with Tandem. Secret of Birds and Bone. This was incredible. Again, another fantasy book that's absolutely magical. Kieran Milgard Hargraves is one of the best middle grade authors ever. And guys, look at that, look at the naked hardback. How beautiful is that? It's gorgeous. This is definitely going on my shelf. I've got to find a room for it all. But it's beautiful. It's about a world where things aren't always what they seem, and it's brilliant. It's magical, and I loved it. These two are going back on my shelves. Now, I reread A Curse of Dark and Lonely, and it got 5 stars all over again. Every bit. It was one of my favourite books of last year, and it deserves it every step of the way. I thoroughly loved it. You guys know I love this book. If you don't know about it, pick it up. The 3rd book in this series is coming out at the end of January. I will be reading A Heart So Fierce and Broken next month, and I'm excited. Loved it. Loved rereading it, and I think it's absolutely every bit as amazing. Now I've got 2 Christmas books to show you. They're not my favourite books of the month, but they are equally as amazing. This book is the second in the Woolworths Girl series, and it's 5 stars all the way. I loved it. I loved revisiting the characters that were in the first book, meeting new characters, the Christmas feel, the reminders that even now, if you think Christmas is this year, is certainly not going to be what we hoped it was going to be, but it's still magical. You know, this is like teaching us that Christmas doesn't always have to be every bit perfect. It's what you make it to be. So I love this book, and I love this Woolworths Girl series. Just to give you a bit of a heads up, that I'm going to be trying to complete the Woolworths series next year. So that's going to be one of my series goals that I'm going to be completing next year, because I loved it. That's going back on my shelves. Now the next one, it actually surprised me how much I loved it. It's the next in the Rosie Hopkins series. I read the first one not very long ago, and this ended on such a point that I have actually had to order on ABE Books the last book in the series, because it left on such a cliffhanger that I was like, I've got to read the next one. And I actually read the first, there's like, this book actually includes chapters of the last book in the series, and I actually read the chapters because I was just that desperate to know what was going on. So yeah, I've already ordered it, so I'm expecting that if it arrives in time, I will be finishing the series this month. So in part 2, you'll see the end of the series. But this is about, I don't want to give too much away and tell you about this, because you've got to read the Rosie Hopkins Sweet Shop book. But this is about the second characters, but we also meet some other characters in this. And there's actually some mystery elements. There's some bits where you've got twists and turns in it. It is an exciting book. It's an amazing Christmas book, and it's probably one of my favourite Christmas books ever. I just loved it. It was absolutely amazing. Jenny Colgan is one of my favourite chick lit authors, and she has exceeded herself. I love her books, and I thoroughly love this one. And I'm actually keeping chick lit books. I'm keeping the whole series. Can you believe it, guys? You know what I'm like. Now, the top 2 books for the month are Sleep by C.L. Taylor. I know so many of my thriller lovers, friends out here, have told me that they thought it was amazing. I've buddy read this with the lovely Sarah from Sarah MG Reads, and this is every bit as thrilling and scary, and I'm glad I read it at the start of the day because it was so scary, but it's good. I did not predict the baddie until like sentences before it ended. It was that friggin' good. If you want a thriller that's going to keep you on your toes, pick up this. I am now going to look for every single thriller by this author, because it was so good, and it's actually a thriller that I'm actually going to keep as well. I'm keeping way too many books this month, guys. My shelves are not going to like me. But this was super, 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 super good. Loved it. And the other favourite book of the month, my friend Clint's, one of his favourite books of last year, Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is an LGBTQ plus romance on the top degree. It's YA, it's lovely, it's got morals, it's got everything in it. I buddy read it with the lovely Ange with an E, and the lovely Kat from Brews and Reviews. I love buddy reading with those guys. They were absolutely lovely. This is it's got a lot of naughty stuff in it. Ange was saying, shh. This has so much naughty stuff in it. It was rude at the points, but obviously he's here, so I can't say the new bits. But there's some naughty bits in it that were very naughty. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This is I just don't get how you cannot love it. So what happens when America's first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales? It's romance. It's about being true to who you are. I loved it. It was a great YA romance book that had so many good feels in it. It made me smile. It was just what I needed for the start of the month, and I absolutely loved it. Thomas, be good. But yes, those are my 2 favourite books of the month. What has been your favourite books of the month so far? I'm going to try and avoid the camera with his eyes. No, that's showing you more of him. There you go, I can't get him out of the picture. Anyway, what have been your favourite book of the month? Sorry for my little dive-bombing partner here. Let me know in the comments below what's your favourite book of the month been. Let me know how you're feeling, and I hope you're all having a great December so far. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, bring on my ding-a-ling. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. I've just realised I've said it in the wrong order, but hey ho, that's being a mum. Hope you liked it. I hope you're all having a great December so far, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.
Bye.